Okay, I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teacheth the Bible in 100% truth, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, especially the 144,000, who consist of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the land of the Americas, as well as the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners living amongst the other nations. Shalom to you. Okay, today, just looking at prophecy yet again. We're in that time where there's many things that are happening around us which relate to prophecy in a major way. Before I go any further, I don't know if a couple of videos ago I was reading something and it came up with the Medes, and I think I referred to the Medes as being the Russians, which was a mistake. The Medes, as you can see here at the bottom of the screen, northern Iran, the Medes or the Medians were a group of Indo-Iranian speaking people from Central Asia who migrated to North Iran, blah blah blah. It's the second millennium BCE. By the end of the 7th century, they founded the kingdom of Media, which was absorbed into the academic empire by Cyrus II. So I can't remember really what I was saying. I don't know why it just popped up in my head earlier on today, and I was reading something. I don't even know what I was reading, and I know it came up with the Medes, and I think I then said Russia. Um, I think what it was, I was getting excited because Russia obviously would back Iran come World War Three. So seeing the Medes obviously made me think of Russia, and I think that's what I mentioned it as that. So just to clarify, the Medes, you come across the Medes, obviously, you know, in when it relates to future Bible prophecy, World War Three, it's going to be speaking of Iran, who will work in conjunction with Russia as well as the other nations to go against America, Babylon the Great, and the small hats in the Holy Land at the minute, who are occupying the Holy Land. But but we're getting closer to these particular prophecy. World War Three, the destruction. We're getting close to the MOTB. We've got the Passover at the end of the week. You've had so you had last year. We had the Passover, and then we had the solar eclipse, and then the solar eclipse was a sign to us. It was from the Most High to show us that like the end is here. The beginning of the end, if you like. You could say the beginning of the end was when Yahweh Shai came, or you could then say when Abba Bivens arrived, or you could even say now with the solar eclipse that took place last year. And when you look back, so we've just entered now into a new year as of like what the last just over a week. It's about 8 9 days, 10 days maybe. We've entered into a new year. And so when you look back at the last year, we saw that sign from the Most High, and then we understood that this was a sign. We thought something was going to happen within the year. Not the year 24. January the 1st, 24 to January the 1st, 25, but from the year, obviously, according to the lunar cycle, the new moon, um, obviously having the first month of the year around March. And then in that year, from then until, just up until now, just up until like a week ago or so, that's been a year. And so we had that sign. And the major thing that happened in that year was the introduction of Nero, or, who's back at this time in the name of Donald Trump. And so obviously he's a major player for prophecy, and it signifies the beginning of the end, because now you have this man, the Most High has risen up this particular man, put him, established him in the particular position where he can call certain shots, on behalf of the banking elites to implement this worldwide change, and obviously that brings in prophecy. So now we're entering into, we've just entered into another year, and straight away, we've got the Passover. I think it's on will be on Thursday, if I'm right, on Thursday night. I need to check my dates, but then straight after that, you obviously, when you go back to the story of Yahushua going on the cross, it was the Passover, and then the following day he went on the following daytime he went onto the cross, so on and so forth. You had the solar eclipse, you had the blood moon. So the blood moon was the night of the Passover. Just trying to recall in my memory, obviously what I've read up before. So we've got this particular event occurring. We've got basically a blood moon on the Passover coming up, this weekend at the beginning of this weekend. So now, this is another major sign, something that happened, that took place when Yahushua was crucified. And so obviously in this time now, it's, seeing that, knowing that's coming up, that's going to be yet again another major sign. So then we look forward to this year coming up, from say now, in the next year coming up, the next 12 months, what is Yahweh Bashim, Yahushua going to do in terms of making major waves with prophecy? Because the major prophecies left to take place actually bring about the end of this particular empire, which happens to also bring about the introduction of the kingdom of heaven. So it's a major point, it's a major factor. Obviously, scriptures tell you that this is going to be a time like never been seen before. So we're waiting for these particular events to unfold. Now, so you've heard obviously in the last couple of days from Darbu 7. This one's been going about. Get ready for world currency. The Fed is about to roll out new cross-border payment infrastructure, and so this was something that's happening this year. Within now that we're about to see this blood moon on the Passover, so it's a major event. It's yet another sign in the heavens. Just like last year, we had the solar eclipse. Last year, what happened with the solar eclipse? The Most High gave us Nero, Donald Trump. We understood. We saw this particular man. The Most High picked him, and the Spirit opened our eyes. This is the last president. This is the last man. So we know the Most High is making these moves. I keep saying that the Most Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, is about to turn the world upside down. He's going to do it by bringing in the MOTB, World War III, major destruction, civil war, civil unrest, economic collapse, and just, like I keep saying, a time like never been seen before. And so, so they were going to roll out this on the 10th, which is today, on the 10th of March. They've now pushed it back until until July. You can. I'll leave the link for this in the description box if you haven't seen it. This is obviously a major step towards the MOTB, digital infrastructure. So what's brought me about to make this particular video here is because there's another bit of news that's come out, and I found this on World Affairs in Context. This is that Lena Petrova. You've probably seen her channel before. This lady here, Lena Petrova, and as it says here, EU accelerates digital euro launch. Revealed date of programmable digital currency rollout. So this is only 13 hours old, and I think this lady's, what's her name? Is it Christine Lagarde? Um, she's pretty much announcing that the EU will be rolling out, as it says here, a digital euro launch. They've given a date on it, and they've said October 2025. So basically, what they're saying is by 2025, this whole talk of a digital euro, they want it launched by October. With it being launched, they want it on a wholesale level. So, between companies that are, you've got one company buying ingredients from another company by the bulk load. So you got services, goods that you're paying forth back and forth. They want that to be able to be done digitally, and they also want the high. They call it the high street, the commercial. So people like ourselves who we go shopping, and we go to shops to buy our basic things that we need, and they want the platform to be up and running for that, for digital currency. So we're months away. We're actually months away, and you watch Lena at the beginning, and she says that she says we're months away. We're months away from actually having. We're like 6 months now from October, 6 months or so. So from having a digital currency in Europe, that means it's going to be launched. It's going to be usable. They're probably going to, have an app that you can then access it, or get into it and use it, and sort of access services and products with it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that obviously we're going to see the end of cash just yet, or other payment systems. But this is a major sign. They're coming out. They're making the announcement that they want it up and running. They want it to have it physically usable by October 2025. That's in the EU, so that covers the whole of Europe. You've obviously got America, Babylon the Great, as I was just pointing out a minute ago, and you get this on Darbu 7, Darbu 77. Get ready for a world currency. The Fed is about to roll out new cross-border payment infrastructure, which they wanted to do already 10th of March, but they're pushing back till July. So I mentioned this, quite a few times in the last year, and in the last 6 months, the last 6 months before that. 2024, 2025, they're bringing in the people who, we know everything's run by banking elites. It's behind the scenes. It's what do they call it? The puppet master in the shadows, who nobody really knows, although we do know, but we don't know. But then, they just put out these world leaders. You go back to Revelation 13, and you got two horns like a lamb, spake as a dragon. So you've got these political parties. They seem benevolent in the way they behave, in the policies. People vote for them. Ultimately, they get stung. And speaking like a dragon, ultimately these two horns go back to the same beast. So they have the same drive. And for years, for decades, that drive has to be to implement a one world order. So you think, like we say, for example, when they had you as a slave, they had you in chains, and then they took the chains off and they said you're free, and then Jake says, "Oh, we're free," but you're not really free, because your new chain is the paper contract, the adhesion contract. But really, when you actually think about it, they were never that adhesion contract. Taking the chains off, putting you on that system, social security system, and all that, having you tracked through that system, that was never going to be the long term goal. That was just to set something up with sticks and stones for people to use, And then how many years later they've managed to develop the technology, the infrastructure, and they've now they've got the people's mindsets coming around to it. There's a lot of people like this Lena, like you, this particular person present on the presenter on this show. She's talking about it. You got the ordinary people linking up this digital system with the MOTB. So people are starting to wake up, but at the same time, they'll talk about it. They'll keep producing their 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 content for social media. They'll put their social media up. They'll keep making their money, and they'll talk about it. They'll say, we need to watch out, this, that, and the other. But ultimately, they got there's no way out. We know that because we understand the scriptures. We understand prophecy. We understand. We believe in the prophecy. We have a more sure word of prophecy. But for a lot of these people out here, especially in the times that are going to come up, there's going to be lots of ups and downs, and they're going to have hope, but a lot of the hope is going to be wasted energy, wasted exercise, because the things, they want people, population, they need things fixed. They these powers that be, got MAGA, Make America Great Again. They're about to fix it, but they're going to fix it in such a drastic way that it's going to upset a lot of people. But then, where are you stuck? And a lot of people, as much as they want to talk this, that, and the other, when it comes down to it, they're going to end up taking it. So, we're getting really close. Yeah, like I say, you've got the EU, European Central Bank. The EU accelerates digital euro launch, revealed date of programmable digital currency rollout. So, for example, you know, this is going. They're saying that they want the roll this out in October 2025. So they roll out this form of payment where it's a digital version. Maybe you're using it on the app. Maybe we haven't. Maybe it'll take a little bit of time before they actually move us onto the device under the skin and make it mandatory. But then they'll say like, oh, for example, I don't know how to explain it. You've incurred some sort of credit or some sort of like a tax rebate. It comes to the end of the year, they say, well, here's your tax rebate. We're going to give it to you in a digital form. We don't want to give it to you in the usual form. But then when it's programmable, you might have to spend it in a certain time, or you might be only able to spend it in certain areas. And with this technology, with these black swan events that we're warning you of, the steps to move between one to the other is gonna happen really fast. It's gonna happen really quick. So as we keep telling you, it's months away. In October they're gonna roll it out. They're gonna have it up and running, and at that point, things are very dangerous for those living in Europe, because at any point they could bring about a false flag event. They could say, well, the economy's crashed. It's not worth anything. The money you got is not worth anything. We're just going to roll with the digital format, and then within a couple of weeks, within a couple of months, it could be that oh, we've got another crisis. Now there's violence on the streets, this, that, and the other, or whatever. Or there's a thing out there, disease killing people, or we need to track everybody for whatever reason. Then they could say, well, now we need to introduce the device under the skin. The chances are they're going to do it in stages. So in October they'll say we have the digital platform up and running. They'll offer it out. People will start getting used to it. It'll be programmable, and then eventually, like I say, these black swan events escalate you from that having the app to having no fiat currency, and then to escalating you into actually having to have the device under your skin. Another one is this one. So this is updated March the 10th. FIFA launches FIFA Coin, revolutionizing football in the blockchain era. And you got the FIFA president here basically sucking up to Trump. Um, it says he recently that Gianni Infantino recently revealed that the organization is interested in developing its own cryptocurrency. This was revealed during the crypto summit at the White House, chaired by President Trump on March the 7th. Infantino stated that FIFA is very interested in creating a FIFA coin that will be developed in the United States and aims to reach 5 billion soccer fans worldwide. In the statement, Infantino emphasized that the development of FIFA coin will be an an innovative way to interact with the global fan base. By using blockchain technology, FIFA hopes to enhance the fan experience and open new revenue opportunities. Although the details and timeline of the launch are still unclear, Infantino's enthusiasm signifies FIFA's great strides in adopting the latest technology. President Trump also made positive comments stating that the value of FIFA coin might surpass the value of FIFA itself one day. So, I'm not going to read into all of that. Again, I'll leave the link in the description box if you really want to read it. But, this is where we're going into. We're going into that stage where, by October, there will be a Euro digital format, a platform for a Euro digital currency. It'll be up and running. Um, you got the Fed. They got their cross-border payment system new cross-border payment system that they want to launch by July. And then you've got like these organizations like FIFA. Ultimately, we know the governments. Yeah, okay, the governments are technically corporations, but then you've got these other corporations in the high street, in the shops. And, you go shopping to these various places, the things that we do to go to buy our food, this, that, and the other, our clothing. But then you have FIFA. You see, FIFA are no different from that. But the product they're selling you is football. Now, it's funny because yet again, if FIFA didn't own football, people would still want to watch it. So we don't really need them to be able to enjoy it. However, somehow they've got their hands on it, they own it, and so they're going to dictate how we enjoy it. And so one of the ways they want to dictate is by introducing this FIFA coin. What's it going to be? It's not going to be it's a cryptocurrency. It's not going to be a physical coin. So it's going to, again, you might have to get the FIFA app. This, who knows? They could have this run in by the the 2026 World Cup in America. So they might have it up and running. You may be able to enter competitions to win prize money, but the prize money is crypto. You might be able to deposit your own money into the crypto account to have it on this coin. If you go to travel to America, for example, to watch the World Cup, I know they're saying that a lot of the games are spread about. When we have them in Europe and certain places, it's quite small. They'll have like a World Cup in England, and it's tiny. And you just got like all these teams, 32 teams playing all across the UK. But then in the United States, apparently they're going to be spread out, so they might going to have some in down south, up north. I think Mexico, this, that, and the other. So then you think like you're traveling from another continent to America, and they say, well, make life easy for yourself, make it safe. Don't carry any cash, any money. Just put all your money onto your FIFA coin, and it can only be spent with FIFA. And so even if you're like in downtown LA, your phone gets robbed. Now you've lost your phone, your app, and you got some other guy who's robbed your phone. He's trying to spend your cryptocurrency, but you can't because you can only spend it with FIFA because it's a FIFA coin or whatever. These are the little ways. What it is, they're introducing FIFA, and then before you know it, it's going to go to this company and that company and smaller companies and smaller companies and smaller companies. But before you know it, the man on the shop, the street corner, the street, you always get the little store on the corner. Some man running, some independent man with his little independent business is running it. And he'll end up having he'll end up following the system because it will become obviously, this is how they do it with gradualism. They spark the idea, they get people talking about it, they come in with the answers, they introduce it, they make you follow it. First of all, they make it an option. You don't have to use it. You can keep doing the old thing, but this is the way it's going, and eventually the way it's going becomes too hard to to like to ignore. At the minute, what's it now? 2025. So I know at the end of this year, a lot of the phone networks in the UK, they're turning off the 3G. So before you could have like our phones now are like 5G or whatever, but you can still run with the old school phone. The phone where you got the old phone where you got no screen. It's not a smartphone. It's just a phone, and you can get them running. A lot of people in the UK, they'll use them for when they do their little dodgy businesses. They don't want people tracing their calls, so you just buy one of them old school £10 phones. But there's no internet, no Bluetooth, no nothing. But they run off the 3G network, and they're turning that off this year. So now it's going to be impossible to use that. You have to use now technology which is smart to be able to get on the telephone system. You can't use the analog one anymore. It won't work with the 3G. Or I was reading into it. So they're bringing in the changes, but they're going to bring in the changes very fast and very soon. We're going to start to see them, drastic changes. For a long time, a lot of these changes have been made in the background. Technology had to be developed, ideas had to be sparked, they had to be talked about. It's like a worldwide thing. But now we're at that point where, like I say, you're at that time. They've given you the leaders over 2024, 2025. Now they're giving you the leaders that are actually gonna, stick this shit on the table and say, here it is. And when it happens, all that talk about conspiracies, it's gonna go out the window. People aren't gonna be able to say that to you again. However, they're still gonna have to follow it. They're still gonna have to go with it. You go back to here, for example. You go back to this video here, and you read on the comment boards. Look, you got the European citizens rise up against the tyranny. Well, that's not going to happen. Europe is done. WEF out. Well, that's true. Europe is done, but you're not going to get these people out. Absolute control. Yep. No, thank you. Well, it doesn't matter what you think. They're going to do it. The EU needs to be abolished permanently. See, everybody's got something to say, but when it comes down to it, tapping on the comment board is not going to do shit. When they pull the plug, when they pull the straw, and you've got nothing left to stand on, you're going to have to take what they offer you to stay afloat. But it just goes on. Resist the crap, corruption at its finest. Everybody's got something to say, but nobody's got anything to do about it. And that's why it's so important to have the names Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And not just have that, but also have the Holy Spirit working on you, giving you the eye salve and allowing you to see these events as they approach us. There's no better way to warn somebody of something to, to allow them to see the problem approaching so they can rescue themselves or divert themselves from the scenario. And that's where we are. We have the understanding, we have the key, we have the names. We understand how to to deal with certain times. We call on the name Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and we keep working in faith. So things are going to get real deep real soon. This is Isaiah 32. I'm just going to read this real quickly before we go. I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but it says here, verse 5, the vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. And at the minute, you got all these people running around You've got so many vile people across the earth. I mean, a lot of it comes from Babylon the Great. They, push the philosophies across the earth. They have the whole world, the nations drunk with different philosophies, different sexualities, different mindsets, different beliefs in different gods, and the list goes on. But once we're waiting for these particular events to take place. Like I say, you have the solar eclipse, the introduction of Nero, and now we're about to have the blood moon on the Passover. So this year coming up, something major is we're expected to take place. Like I say, it could be that where the introduction of this digital system, so on and so forth. And the Most High is about to bring judgment. It's about to bring an end to this wicked empire, this wicked kingdom. And once we establish, like I say, this time round, all these kingdoms have come and they've fallen. But this time round, the next kingdom to be introduced is going to be the kingdom of heaven. So we're not going to have to deal with this type of shit anymore at all. It says, the vile person shall be noble, called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. It says, for the vile person will speak villainly, and his heart will work iniquity. And that's what's happening at the minute. It says, to practice hypocrisy and to utter error against Yahweh. It says, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. So these Edomites, mainly the banking elites, a lot of these are Amalekites. These are vile people. It says here their heart will work iniquity, which is what they do. They brought about this plan. It says to practice hypocrisy, and they do that through the beast system, through these political leaders. We've just seen Trump 2016 coming to make America great again, and then all of a sudden they gave you Biden. And then, just when things get real bad, they said, don't worry, we'll give you Trump again. That guy that you wanted to fix the problems, yeah, he's back again. But this time we're really going to make him fix the problems. If you can't see over the course of the last, 8-9 years, that the system is fixed, this voting system, how can you believe that you're voting and your number counts to bring in this president when they literally just played a game in front of you? It's hypocrisy. It's iniquity. They designed it. They said, yeah, let's give them that, and then we'll take it away, get them mad. Then we'll give them Joe. Joe, he can't even get up the staircase. Then they'll really be pulling their hair out, and then we'll go back with the other one, and then we'll have them where we want them, begging for a change. And it says here to utter error against Yahweh. Okay, so uttering the error is the MOTB. They want to pretty much hijack Yahweh's creation, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh's creation, which is a human, and to implement that MOTB. Ultimately, it's a start off to buy and to sell, but then ultimately it goes into a deeper level, with this Neuralink, in terms of controlling the mind, controlling the electrical impulses within the body, within the brain, and ultimately altering the human conscious, if you like. So, the MOTB is them, wanting to, it's the final piece of the jigsaw to these Edomites stepping out of the Caucasus Mountains, taking over the world, implementing this system, using everybody else, the world, as a slave to gather everything they need so they can implement this plan, put together this technology. And now they've got this plan here, they've got the technology, they've got the president that's about to introduce it, and they're ready to take over the Most High's creation, implement the MOTB, and that's why AI, artificial intelligence, you've got the intelligence of the Most High, but they created their own version, which is AI. They program it, and they want that to control humanity. So that's error against Yahweh. It says to make empty the soul of the hungry. It says, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. So that the soul of the hungry, you know, you think of when it comes up to this MOTB, there's going to be people out there that's going to know that they shouldn't take it. I'm an Israelite. I shouldn't take the MOTB. My soul, I'm feeling it in my soul. I really shouldn't be taking this. And the Most High is going to destroy me if I do. But I'm hungry. It says to make empty the soul. So your soul gets emptied out because you think you're an Israelite. You're really saying I'm not going to take the MOTB, this, that, and the other. Then Jacob's trouble comes. Before you know it, it gets real bad. You got no choice, and then you end up taking it. So that's when the soul, you think like for example with the thing in 2020 and 2021, there was talks of people who took the thing, and then they say, oh, I feel like my spirit, the spirit left me. I feel like my soul was different. The Most High Spirit left me. It's the same thing. You imagine now how we're like we're hyped up on this on the Holy Spirit. We're waiting for the MOTB. We're saying we're gonna fight it. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna have the faith, and we're hoping to be delivered. But if you catch yourself in a moment, take it, and then you've taken it. All that you've got in your spirit is all gonna empty out. You're gonna empty out the soul, because you're hungry, and you're gonna end up taking the MOTB to cure the the hunger. So you're not, now your belly's not full, but now yet you've got this empty feeling within your soul because of what you've done. It says, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. So it says goes on to say the instruments also of the Cho are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh upright. There's people out here that are already struggling to make ends meet. So when all these things come into place and this device gets dangled in their face, this MOTB, a lot of these Christians, for example, people of the faith of Christianity, they probably ain't got the spirit to fight against it, but they know they shouldn't take it. But yet they're going to be going through all these problems. People are already dealing with these problems, and yet here comes Esau, ready to implement more problems. You see this. We're looking forward to to obviously prophecy rolling out, so we want it to come to pass. But then you got the normal person out there. They see this happening. Oh, the EU are going to have a digital euro in October 2025. Oh, great! When I go on holiday, I can use it. But they don't realize what it's actually going to, where it's actually all heading. The fact that it says it's programmable, should already send alarm bells ringing through your head. But like I say, a lot of people out there don't really know. They're going to walk into it blind. But yeah, I'm going to leave you on this. This is Job chapter 20, and this is obviously a friend of Job, Zophar, speaking to Job. It says it says the triumph of the wicked is short. So if you like, he's talking of the wicked, and whatever they do, there's always wicked people about, and it seems like they always seem to get away with what they're getting away with. But the triumphing of them is short, and you have to kind of leave it to the Most High to be able to be the judge of that. And it's no different in this time now. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. It says, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. It says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast a fury of wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So, when they implement this MOTB system, which they're about to do, we're only months away from it. That's them, sitting down, getting ready to eat. They've worked for decades, if not centuries, towards this idea, to this plan, and they want to see it happen. So we're at that very point. This is this is not something that they're just making up as they go along. Like I've been saying, I spent the whole of last year telling you that all the leaders that they brought in around the world last year and this year, these are the ones that are going to bring in this digital system. And they're doing it together at that same time, and they're all going to get the same memo. And so no matter what happens, no matter what the talk, no matter what the debate, no matter what the polls say, all that type of, it's all rubbish. There's only one answer, and that answer is prophecy to be fulfilled. But it says here, when he's about to fill his belly, so he's about to do that by implementing that system. And then he's going to say, okay, once the system's running, it's digital, there's apps out there, all these corporations start bringing up their apps, digital coins, this, that, and the other. And then they obviously all get centralized, and then the next thing is just an excuse to be able to make you take a device under the skin. So that's when that's when they're really looking at it from the banking elite's point of view. That's when they'll really be looking at it, saying, yeah, this is it now, this is it. And they just have to get the timing right in their heads. This is how they're going to see it. Let's just get the timing right, and once we do that, we're good. But once they do that, as we keep saying, once the MOTB gets made mandatory and there's no other way to buy or sell apart from you use the digital system with the device under the skin, that point will only last for weeks, a matter of weeks. And then obviously we'll have the destruction, the deliverance. It says, the Most High, it says, when he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. It says, he shall flee from the iron weapon. It says, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. So, Job's friend Safar was actually prophesizing, because he says he shall flee from the iron weapon. So you could say, okay, that happened in many different kingdoms, but it says here from the bow of steel. And the bow is when you shoot the arrow. But when do you get basically a metal bow and arrow, a steel bow and arrow? You get that when you get the ICBMs. It says, and the bow of steel. So that's talking about an ICBM basically. It says it shall strike him through. It says it is drawn and cometh out of the body, so which is the silo. Some of these are on the back of a vehicle, so they have something that they're sitting inside, or sometimes they're in the ground. They have the silo in the ground, an enclosure, and obviously when they're fired up, they shoot from these particular silos. It says it is drawn and cometh out of the body. It says, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall, terrors are upon him. So I'll leave the link for this video. I'll leave the link for all three basically in the description box. But like I say, yeah, we're months away. It's just a matter of months till we actually have a digital euro. I mean, when it's launched, I might even try and get the app, because obviously you'll be able to use it. In October, they're not going to be telling us to use it by taking a device under the skin. So I might even try and get the app and see what it's all about. So, but we'll see. Come obviously October 2025, they want to have this up and running. So we're getting closer to this MOTB. So I hope that was edifying. I'm gonna leave it right there. Until next time, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakat Kwadash. Until next time, Shalom.